honor on this day. Many people observe this holiday in different ways. We honor these heroes by visiting cemeteries and memorials, observing a national moment of silence, or flying the flag of the United States at half-staff from dawn until noon. In our nation, many citizens have gathered together to ensure that our fallen heroes are appropriately remembered. Their efforts are evident in many places, such as Washington, D.C., where the Vietnam Wall, the World War II Memorial, and the Korean Memorial physically commemorate the veterans who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Here in Wisconsin, our citizens have also commemorated our warriors with monuments such as the High Ground Veterans Memorial in Neillsville, the Korean War Veterans Memorial in Plover, the Veterans Memorial Fountain in Kenosha, and right here in Whitefish Bay. For today, we are gathered in Whitefish Bay to dedicate the Whitefish Bay Veterans Monument and Memorial Gardens. I want to take just a moment to thank the leaders of this effort, Mr. Jim French and Mr. John Kearns, who have selflessly led this effort to make this memorial a reality. Gentlemen, I'd really appreciate it if you would just stand and let us applaud your efforts here. Jim and John, if you just come up for a second, I've got a small memento here I'd like to share with you. For those of you who can't see, these are challenge coins. A lot of you are familiar with these. We give these in honor of excellence and a job very well done. On one side of this coin says a salute to our fallen heroes and warriors. It's emblazoned with the seals of the 5 services, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. And on the back it says, poignantly on a day like today, that freedom isn't free. It never was. And I'd like to give it to each of you in honor of your great service here at Whitefish Bay. I also want to thank all the folks who didn't get mentioned. I know it takes more than 2 leaders to make something come to fruition. So thank all of you who participated in making this monument, this wonderful monument, a reality. This memorial has a statement of purpose. I'd like to share it with you in case you haven't seen it, because I think it's wonderful. The purpose: to be a place to educate our youth, for families to recreate, and for all to reflect. A reflection of the history and character of Whitefish Bay. The gardens and monument will honor those who served and sacrificed for their country in the past and continue to do so today. What a magnificent purpose for a monument. What a wonderful and fitting purpose for a beautifully designed memorial constructed on a historic piece of land, once used by the National Guard artillerymen to prepare and train and be ready if our country called them. In fact, our nation did call them for service in the border war with Mexico, World War I, World War II, and the Korean conflict. And typical of the National Guard, when these guardsmen were mobilized and deployed, the community, the businesses, the families from right here in Whitefish Bay mobilized and deployed with them in spirit. At all these hallowed places in Washington, D.C. and here in Wisconsin, we can see, and in some cases we can trace our fingertips on the names of those who have fallen. Those who gave their lives in the defense of this country. They stand as a silent post, a constant reminder of the sacrifices made by brave Americans to preserve our freedom. Now some, with great reverence for our fallen service members, express a little bit of frustration on the modern observances of Memorial Day, perhaps more focused on a day off from work than the original intent. A reason for a picnic or a barbecue, the opening of the community pool, a day when we start our summer vacation. My own view is a little bit different. Part of the very freedom that these brave souls died to defend is the very freedom that these families and communities enjoy when they have a picnic, open a pool, or start a vacation. These are good things, and I say God bless them all. But today, you and I, are here And I believe this is reflective of the new awareness in America of the sacrifices of our military members. It has emerged and is becoming an ingrained part of the American experience. Perhaps it's because September 11th, 2001, over 17,000 citizens from the state of Wisconsin have deployed for the ongoing conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan. Many of these brave souls more than once. And sadly, in that time, 136 of our countrymen from Wisconsin have paid that ultimate sacrifice. And that includes from our National Guard, Sergeant Ryan Adams from Rhinelander, who died last year during combat operations in Afghanistan, serving with the 951st Sapper Engineer Company. A tragic loss of a heroic soldier. But he is not forgotten. He is missed by his family, his community, his unit, his battle buddies. He's missed by me, his Adjutant General. I tell you, he is not forgotten. Sergeant Adams is a poignant reminder of those who have gone before, who, like him, paid that ultimate price. And we must never forget that our history is freedom's history, and that someone is always trying to extinguish that torch of freedom. We have seen this throughout our history on the misty fields of Yorktown, in that titanic struggle between brothers at Gettysburg, the horrific beaches and trenches of France in World War I, and Normandy in World War II, Pork Chop Hill, Saigon, Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan. The common thread is brave men and women preserving the cause of liberty with their lives. It is not cliche when we hear that freedom is not free. It must be preserved and handed as a burning torch from generation to generation. As if to highlight this very point, President Reagan once said, and I quote, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in the United States, where men were free." Today, America is free. And this is our day to thank those who for generations have paid that price for all of us. And I'm also privileged to say that it's a day where I can say thank you to the community of Whitefish Bay for your support in previous times of conflict and your continued support today. I tell you, friends, America's strength does not lie in Washington, D.C., or in tall buildings in New York City that can be knocked down with an airplane. Our strength is in our families, in our communities, because you produce the very brave warriors that come forth and say, "I'll go," when our nation needs them to go. When they go forward, they go with your support, with your love. And when they fall in combat, a little piece of each one of us falls with them. And it's appropriate that we remember. This memorial will help us to remember. So thank you for being here today to help celebrate the lives and legacies of those we have lost. Thank you, gentlemen, again for this great work here at this memorial. This is a magnificent monument to the 32nd and to all those who have served this great nation. And I tell you again how humbled I am to be with you, and thank you for the opportunity to come and spend a few minutes with you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.